The psychology of idle time, why doing nothing often leads to our biggest insights. The hidden value of doing nothing. In a world obsessed with hustle, productivity, and always being on, doing nothing has become something we almost fear. Idleness is often viewed as laziness, inefficiency, or even a sign of failure. But what if we've had it wrong all along? What if idle time, those quiet moments when you're staring at the ceiling or sitting alone with your thoughts, isn't a waste of time at all, but a powerful tool for growth, creativity, and deep personal insight? Welcome to the psychology of idle time. This isn't about procrastination or being unmotivated. It's about understanding how our brains work when we step away from the noise, and why some of our biggest ideas and life-changing realizations come when we least expect them, when we're doing absolutely nothing. 1. The brain never rests. What happens during idle time? It might surprise you to learn that your brain doesn't power down when you're idle. In fact, neuroscientists have discovered that a part of the brain called the default mode network, DMN, becomes active when you're not focused on a specific task. This network lights up during daydreaming, reflection, or mind wandering. Far from being useless, this mental activity is linked to self-reflection, memory consolidation, future planning, creative insight. When we stop forcing our brains to work, they start doing something more powerful, connecting dots behind the scenes. 2. The myth of constant productivity. We live in a culture that glorifies busyness. If you're not being productive, you're falling behind, or so we're told. But this mindset is not only flawed, it's harmful. Constant activity leads to burnout, decision fatigue, and mental exhaustion. Ironically, many of the world's most successful thinkers, from Einstein to Steve Jobs, credited their greatest breakthroughs to moments of silence and solitude. The lesson? Idle time isn't the opposite of productivity, it's often the seed of it. 3. Insight happens when you stop chasing it. Ever had a brilliant idea come to you in the shower, during a walk, or while lying in bed? That's not random. It's your brain capitalizing on idle moments to surface buried thoughts. Research shows that insight and problem-solving are enhanced when we take breaks from focused work. This is why sleeping on a problem or going for a walk can lead to that elusive aha moment. Insight doesn't thrive under pressure. It emerges from relaxation. 4. The power of boredom. Boredom has a bad reputation. But psychologists argue that boredom can serve a vital function. It forces your mind to seek novelty or solutions. In doing so, it often stirs up creativity and innovation. Children left to be bored often invent games, stories, or imaginary worlds. Adults, too, can rediscover their creative spark when they allow themselves to sit with boredom instead of immediately filling the void with scrolling or streaming. 5. Idle time is emotional processing. Busy schedules can act as a distraction from our inner world. When we're constantly occupied, we don't give ourselves time to process emotions, reflect on life events, or ask meaningful questions about our choices. Idle time is when your emotional mind comes to the surface. It's when suppressed thoughts can finally be heard. This can be uncomfortable, but it's also healing. It's during quiet moments that many people recognize what needs to change in their lives. 6. How to harness idle time without feeling guilty. Here's the good news. You don't need to go off-grid or meditate for hours to experience the benefits of idle time. You just need to be intentional about creating space for it. Try these strategies. Schedule idle time daily, even 10 to 15 minutes without your phone, music, or to-do list. Take aimless walks. Walking without a goal allows your mind to wander freely. Stare out the window. Yes, really? Let your thoughts drift. Avoid overscheduling. Leave gaps between meetings or tasks. Let go of guilt. Doing nothing is doing something, especially for your brain. 7. Digital distractions, the enemy of insight. One of the biggest challenges to embracing idle time today is our addiction to constant stimulation. Smartphones, social media, and streaming platforms fill every gap. Waiting in line? Scroll. Bored at home? Stream. Uncomfortable silence? Text. This habit robs us of natural moments for reflection and insight. To reclaim the power of idle time, we must learn to resist the urge to always be doing. That means sometimes just sitting, being, and thinking. 8. The science behind eureka moments. Psychologists call them incubation effects. Those moments when you take a break from a problem, and the solution arrives when you're doing something unrelated. These moments are well documented in cognitive science. This is why so many people get ideas while washing dishes or driving. Your brain, freed from pressure, continues working in the background. It's like a computer running a hidden program. Your mind is never truly idle, it's just quieter. 9. Cultivating a lifestyle that welcomes stillness. To benefit from idle time regularly, you need to build a lifestyle that welcomes stillness. Consider morning or evening rituals without screens, weekly tech-free afternoons, journaling sessions without prompts or pressure, solo time in nature. These practices create a container for thoughts, ideas, and emotions to emerge without being drowned out by noise. Why stillness is a superpower. In a world that never stops, choosing to pause is a radical act. But it's in the quiet, idle spaces that your mind has room to breathe, to create, and to understand. Far from being wasted, idle time is where you find your most authentic thoughts, your most surprising insights, and your deepest sense of clarity. So the next time you feel the urge to fill a quiet moment, don't sit with it. Breathe into it. Trust that your mind, left to its own devices, might just show you something extraordinary.